This is a recovery story from an amazing lady that had over 20 years of back pain from failed spinal surgery. If you're interested in hearing her story and more interestingly hearing her recovery, then watch this video. Hi, I'm Drew Coverdale. I help patients who experience persistent pain and work with them to help them reverse it. If you're interested in this video or others like it, then click on the subscribe to keep up to date with similar stories of recovery. And if you've got any questions or comments, then please pop them below and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, so in this video, you're going to see a history of a lady that had so many years of persistent pain due to thoracic back pain that ended up in her needing surgery. That surgery didn't actually fix her pain. She thought she had to live with it. She thought there was no other answer than that's the life she had to accept, but it absolutely wasn't. Watch the video and enjoy the story.
Yeah. Great. So, well, thanks very much for joining me, Karen.
That's all right.
You've managed to get on Zoom. Is it the first time on Zoom or not?
I think I've done it with my son's school with the teacher, and that was a little bit what we got there in the end, but I'm not very familiar with it really.
Well, now we're on. We're going to take the best opportunity I can to kind of get your story. If I was introducing you, I'd probably say you're a superstar.
Oh, yeah, but I would say the same about you.
All right.
So you saved me.
Well, we can backslap later on. But what people that might be interested in is really hearing your story, because it's very specific to back pain, but it's spinal surgery, isn't it? It was what would be classed in the literature as failed spinal surgery.
That's it.
So would you mind just telling us what happened for you?
From the beginning sort of thing in a nutshell?
Yeah, just kind of as you recall it.
Yeah, so when I was 21, I went to Camp America, went traveling, and I took a massive backpack, you know, the huge ones that travelers take, they're absolutely massive. Stuffed it with everything I could, put it on my back, off we went. And then sort of a few weeks in, we did the camp and then we went traveling. Then a few weeks in, I realized that, you know, I've got this heavy backpack on. I started to think, oh, you know, something's aching, something's not quite right. And I remember that a girl next to me, she had a suitcase, you know, they pull you along on wheels. And I remember looking at her thinking, why didn't I bring that? Anyway, so carried on. And then I think the pain like started from there, just from carrying this backpack around when I was traveling. You know, you have everything, don't you? You can't leave anything. So, and it started from there. So then I came back and my passion was fitness. I went to work in the gyms and everything, exercise. So I got a job at the gym. And then I was teaching classes. And then I was just coming out the classes and going into like the staff room and just laying flat on the floor, just in absolute agony with my thoracic spine, my upper back. And then that was what that just carried on for a few years. I was there. And then I moved around a bit with my then husband's job. So I left the job, but I was going back and forth to the hospital and to see the consultant. In the end, you know, I tried all the physio appointments. I tried like acupuncture, osteopath, all the things that you would, you know, try first. And then the consultant just said, well, let's just try surgery. You know, we can try and fuse, we remove up. So I had a scan, the scan showed the bulging disc. And so he said, we'll take the disc out, we will take some of your rib bone, put it into that space where the disc was, so the bone would fuse with the vertebrae above and below it. And in his mind, to limit or eradicate the pain, because there would be no, you know, it would just be the bone, it would all be fused, and then hopefully the pain would go away. Had the surgery, ended up with a chest drain in high dependency, didn't go quite right. They punctured my lung. And then after that, had the scan, showed that it failed, that the bones had failed to fuse where they should have fused. It was, so in that area still now, it's just floating bone. There's just no fusion occurred. So the chance that he did offer me a second operation, but in hindsight, I wish I'd not had the first one, but it was even riskier to have that second. So it was a case of, that's it, put up with the pain. There was nothing really. So I was still back and forth to the pain clinics on all these tablets. and that was it. So I lived from that to, like, you know, till I met you, for years and years and years, like 20 years, just in this pain that I thought, you've had a failed operation. No, you know, I've tried the worst thing, which is like surgery. That's not worked. And I think you have that like word in your head of fail, don't you? Like the failure of what's they're meant to make it better, and it hasn't. So that's it. So I had a lifetime of, well, I thought I was going to have a lifetime of chronic like thoracic pain, which was horrendous, and just getting worse and worse as the years gone on. And it just affects, like everyone in pain knows, it affects all aspects of your life, really. And then I met you.
And what was the catalyst? Because you still got to walk through the door. I know you came to see me, and we can come to that later on, but you know, you'd walked through so many doors already.
Yeah.
What was it that you thought, I'm gonna knock on another medical person's door?
I think, what do you mean when I saw I think I saw an advert that you put on. I don't know if it was on Facebook, and it was a post, and it just said, "Are you in chronic pain?" And I just thought, you know what, I've got nothing to lose. Like, it's probably going to be, you know, another something that doesn't work for me. But I was just at my wit's end with the pain. I was just really bad at the start. Hadn't worked right up until that point. And then I got a job working part-time in a nursery, which I'm still doing now. And I'd been there for just under a year, I think, when I spoke to you, when I got in touch with you. But I was thinking of leaving because the chairs were all small. You were sat on the floor with the children. I was having to prop myself up against the wall, just the pain when we were cleaning. Obviously, came out to work and I was sat in the car and I was almost in like tears. I was just like, I don't know if I can like carry on doing this. And seeing your post, I thought, I want to give you a call because like I didn't know you then. And I just thought anything's like, you know, I thought, what could he do? You know, he's saying that he can do something to help people in chronic pain. Give it a go. I had nothing to lose. And then it just went from there.
Yeah, do you remember that day you came? It was a training day, actually,
Yeah.
for people who are watching. I was training some of physios and health professionals, a technique called All Pain to Go.
Yeah.
And it was my entry point into this work, if you like, because I was fascinated by it.
Oh,
I couldn't understand how it could work. And we didn't get a perfect result on the day for you, though. Just explain that.
Well, it was funny because at that time as well, and I know you say acute pain is different to chronic pain, but at the time, for a few months, I'd also had lower back pain. It was just niggling my lower back all the time for a good few months. And then also I had the thoracic pain. And it was funny because I was sat in a chair and then, you know, you talked and everything. And then my pain, I can't remember what number, sort of in the beginning, it was probably on an 8 or something. And then you said, what's your pain now? And I bent down to the floor to like sort of touch the floor to try and see if, you know, if I was in pain. And I said my chronic pain was about 3 or 4. I hadn't like gone, I could still feel it. But that lower back pain, weirdly, it had gone. I was sat in that chair and I looked up and I was saying there's physios there, and I don't think they could quite believe it now. I couldn't. It was like a miracle. I know it sounds like cliche, but it was just like unbelievable. And that lower back pain, that was gone from that point, weirdly. But the thoracic, that didn't, and I didn't expect it to, if I was honest, because I didn't know what to expect when I came to see you. It had reduced. It definitely had reduced, but not fully gone. It was a lot better. I would have put up with it at that point. And then I left, and then I think I phoned you a couple of weeks later because I wanted you to know, because I just, it hasn't worked. You know, thank you so much for trying. I really appreciate your time, but it hasn't worked. I'm just still in pain. And you just said, right, come back in here. And I think if you hadn't got me back in, I'd have just gone back to how I was living. And it was that, I don't know what, something just clicked on that second time.
And just to explain that scenario, so for everyone watching, Karen came as a guest, as a volunteer really on a training day, and was just doing this technique. It's a talking technique that kind of reframes pain, but uses a mechanism that is fascinating. It doesn't actually take very long. And the physios watched and the jaws drop a little bit, because when you see the change in something quick, it's crazy. But there's a dynamic when there's lots of people in the room that isn't perfect. So I brought Karen back, and we went through the process again, didn't we? We kind of, it's quieter, there's less what's the word, you're less conscious of what else is going on. It was me and you, we chatted again, and I think we went through the process again, didn't we?
But I realized massively that it was stress. I didn't realize before I came to see you that what was causing my pain was stress. When I'm in like stressful situations, and you're tired, and as soon as like stress, it don't even have to be doing anything. If you hear some bad news or something, straight away pain would come. It was just, and like I've never made that connection before.
It's a light bulb moment, isn't it?
Massively.
Go back to that low back pain. The thoracic pain, the thoracic pain, the low back pain. And on that day it went, didn't it, the low back pain? So and people are saying, well, how can it go? Your children run to you with an injury, they've got pain, and they're thinking they're going to die, right? They've grazed their elbow. But they think they're going to die. They don't know what that means. They're breathing in a very kind of fast rate. The pupils are dilated and they're anxious. They've got a guarded physical movement. And the emotional name to that would be fear, frustration, anger. And that's how they present with their pain. And within 5 minutes, you change each of those 4 elements. Mummy's here, you're going to be okay. Take a deep breath. I've had this before. Look, I've got a cut on my hand. You'll be okay tomorrow. You'll be okay today. You're going to be okay. Move your arm in a small way. Trust Mummy to move it a little bit. It'll be okay, and they trust you. And the emotional framing of that's fear and frustration is actually, I feel a bit safe because Mummy's here. I'm getting care. I'm getting love, and I'm in control of it, and I know why it happened. And as they go back to the environment, and we push them back to the environment, go back on your bike, go play with your friends, whether it's emotional pain or physical pain, you've got to go back to where it happened. And you'll be okay with it, and I'll watch you as you do it. And 5-10 minutes later, shout them and ask them if they're friends again, or if the pain's in the knees, then they'll say, well, Mummy, you kissed it better. So that's not a miracle, is it?
No, exactly. I think with one thing you said to me was a bit of the light bulb moment when you said that every operation, every injury, anything that happens to you, aside from like autoimmune cancers, things like that, should have all healed within 3 months. There should be no reason. I always thought, well, something's still wrong because I'm still getting the pain. I always went back to that. But when you said that, I just told myself that. I thought, right, believe in what you said. It has obviously all healed. So why am I still getting the pain? But I just tried to believe and remember you saying that all the time. And then it's the negative emotions, because I realized that as soon as my pain come, I was feeding that with my negative emotions, so anger, frustration, being upset. I would actually be so angry with the pain, I would try and thump my own back. I know it sounds ridiculous now. I'd be like, just because that was feeding the pain. So the pain, because of the way I was thinking in that negatively, was just making the pain worse. Now, and I don't do that. I know not to do that.
It's an emotional response to an emotional response.
It's
totally natural, though.
It's all emotional, though. That's the thing. And that's what I like when I'm trying to explain this, what we're talking about now, to friends. I really find it hard to explain. I find it hard that they believe me, because it does sound too good to be true. But if it can happen to me, it can. Anyone, it can, if you really want to be free of pain. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, there's so many people who've experienced what you've experienced and failed.
Right.
Spinal surgery, haven't there?
Oh yeah.
It's a thing in the literature, failed spinal surgery.
Yeah. And that's it. And it's like a bit of a death sentence, right? That's it. That's your label. Crack on with life.
And so tell me what you did once you made the catalyst. You obviously had to, you worked at this, didn't you? So tell me what life's been like since you started to make the changes.
Since what? Sorry,
since you started to say, oh, you know, I'm going to stick with this. I believe it. I'm going to respond differently to my pain to how I used to.
Yeah, it's changed my life. That's like all. I know. Again, that sounds like crazy, but it has. I can just do things now that I could never do before. I go running now. Like I only could do, like I could still exercise before, but literally be swimming, a little bit of like cross trainer, very like quite light exercise. And I always used to drive past runners out on the, you know, running and watching, think, oh, I wish I could do that. Now that's me. I'm out running. Like I did the Couch to 5K, completed that. Did the 5K race for life last week. Then I got COVID last week, so that I haven't ran for a while. But I went to the gym for the first time after having COVID last night. Did a little run on the treadmill, did a few weights, and it's just like I bought a bike. I can go out with the kids on bike rides. I can go shopping now without sitting on a bench after every shop and resting my back. So, and you're happier because you don't have to offload pain to all your family and friends. All I used to say was, if someone asks how you doing, how's your back, you almost dreaded them asking, because you know you were going to reply, oh, it's killing me. And when I used to say that, in hindsight now, I was telling my body that my back was killing me. So my back was killing me. It was like a vicious circle. And, you know, now I can sit here and talk about it and understand it. But back then, I didn't understand it. And, you know, this is a whole new, like, the whole, like, with the pain thing, it's a lot of people aren't aware of that you can be free of chronic pain. I wasn't. And I wish more people knew about it. So many people could be living their life they deserve to live the way they want to without being in pain.
Do you ever notice, or do you ever reflect and think you've seen some of the behaviours and think, oh, I was contributing to this? And it isn't a blame game at all, but it's about accepting responsibility, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I think, oh gosh, I did that. I didn't see my behaviours because there were habits. And
there were habits.
There were habits, weren't there?
Yeah. You know, with the, like you say, when you're telling people, and obviously people want to care, so they want to ask how you are, but you always answered negatively because you probably felt a bit sorry for yourself. You know, you were in pain, you were just in a low mood. And now people can't believe it when I say my back's fine. I can live my life. I can do whatever I want to do. Now I'm capable of doing anything.
And now that you look back, gosh, to when you were 21, and you know there was no injury then, and you don't have to share it with us, but can you see the emotional charges present maybe around that time in your life, what you were leaving or what you were?
Yeah, there was a lot going on. Like when I got my first job at in a leisure club. It was only when I spoke to you that I thought the pain started then, but didn't. I don't remember. Like I always used to say, it started pain when it started when I was 18, and I don't know why. You know, when you have something in your head and you just believe it. And then I worked there, and there was no pain there when I was there. And then we went off to America, and that's when it started. And then I was coming back, and then it was like getting a new job, and then I met someone, and then the job was quite intense, as in, you know, teaching all these classes, and it was probably stressful as well. So there was a stress attached around that pain, you know. Every time I went to go and teach the class, and it would just be agony coming out. I thought, I just can't do this forever.
And once that connection's made, once pain is triggered by the stress, it doesn't matter where the stress comes from. Thereafter, it's the quickest way the body says, get out of the situation.
Yeah,
and that's it. If we don't see it, it's a bit like, oh, I've got all this going on, and my back's bad, and not.
Yeah, that's what I always used to say. And now, when I'm not saying I don't ever have any pain, but it's when you start to feel stress, and that first area that will start pinging the pain will be that area. Like even when I'm at work, and I felt it yesterday, I was mopping the floor, we'd finished, we were all cleaning everything. And I could feel it just starting, because I was tired and been up and about and everything. And I didn't connect a negative emotion to it. I just told myself it was fine. And I know it's easy for me to say to people that are in pain now to just say you're fine, you know. Well, I'm not, but I just do. I try and connect more like positive emotions. You say if you do too much, then you know you can still rest and like lay down or whatever. But I just, yeah, it's changing your mindset. I think that's a massive thing. What I didn't even realize at first that I was just doing it. I think it was so strange. Like I say, when I met you, it was just like the light bulb moment.
Your story is, I'm not joking, truly inspirational, because people have to buy in. And I think the further down the disease process someone is, you know, the further medical interventions, the more times it's failed, the more cuts they've had, the more physical stimulus that fails. It almost ingrains those pathways even more. It's such a hard place to come back from, but you are absolute proof
that you can
do it. The neural pathways to fire that pain exist until you're 100. They will always be there, but we always remember falling off a bike. We'll always remember a paper cut, what it feels like. It'll never disappear, but we don't invest emotion in those things anymore.
No, you don't tense your body up. I used to tense up. I used to, like I say, I used to like go, oh, like, you know, try and like, not that it was going to do anything, it wasn't, but it was just so like angry. And the first time I rang you, I remember I was just to start the process and just chat to you about that post you put on. I was in the car, I was nearly in tears because I was just at my total like wit's end with it all. And then from that phone call, it was just like I said, it's just changed my life. And if it can happen to me, I'd like to think it can happen to anyone else that's suffering at the minute.
And how many years ago is it now since
I think, was it 2018? I'm thinking.
4 years, 3 years, sorry, 3 years.
3 years, I think it was the November 2018 I came in to you and the physios were there.
Yeah. Well, it's a wonderful story. I'm very grateful for you sharing your time.
Oh, thank you. No.
And I think it'll be real inspiration to other people, Karen.
I hope it helps. I hope, you know, to just be in pain every day, it's just, like I said, just gets you down. It's the worst thing, but there is hope. That's all I can say. It really is. I'm living proof, so.
You are great. I'm really grateful, Karen.
Oh, no, I am to you as well, so thank you.
Thank you. And I'm grateful for any input you have in the group we have, and I'm very grateful for you sharing this story.
Oh, no, no problem. Yeah? What's that, sorry?
We'll keep in touch.
Oh, yeah, hugely. There'll be a Christmas present coming your way for sure. All right. Thanks, Drew. See you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wow, that was an amazing story. It was lovely to catch up with Karen and hear that journey again. Take inspiration from that. Take a few steps on your journey and, you know, you might get the same amazing outcome that Karen has.